Hingy, you got to tell Belvia you're podcasting. She just asked you, bro.
Yeah.
How can you see? Welcome everybody to this episode of Dynasty Cardcast. I think this is episode 3 or 4. I don't remember because I missed out a week last week. But this week is episode 4. MJ remembers. Well, we've got Shaban, we've got Nick, and we have MJ. Firstly, welcome back, Nick. Please say what you need to say to the people.
I'm good. It's glad to be back. Welcome. I hope everyone's going to enjoy today, and I'm ready to say my truthful opinions and have everyone cry because I'm always right.
Okay, Shaban.
Hello, I am back again. I'm Shaban, also known as Khans on the Discord, because so many people have messaged me like, who the flip are you? Yes, I'm Khans on the Discord. So there you go, and it's amazing to be back for another episode.
And we have MJ, our resident rep.
Hello, I'm back. It's your resident person who has almost all of the cards. Ready to talk about some more.
Okay, well, we're going to get into this one because I want to get into this. So let's roll on and show for everyone that I've got the decks. Look everyone, I've got the decks. But
Crazy.
You guys will see this on another video.
They look so clean, man. That's all I gotta say. From first, like, I thought the Shen and Wen decks was really clean, but these, I don't know, these might just top them, to be honest.
I know. Wait till you see next year's versions of these decks. Anyway, that's incredibly irrelevant. So let's talk about this first card. Everyone's seen this before because this has been out for a few months now. Dragon's Berserker. 4 cost, 1 range, 3 strength, 3 strength, 4 health. With the quotations, ha 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 ha. For the ability, after damage calculation, if this unit took damage, increase the strength of this card by 1. Take it away.
Who wants to start?
Can I just say something about this card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just from looking at the art, right? There are 4 arrows going to him. This guy's about to die, bro. This guy's literally about to die.
Surely. 1 arrow for each health.
But no, in all seriousness though, I think it is a pretty good card. It just depends how long you can keep him on the field for. And that is what is the main thing with this card. You need to be able to keep him on the field. Maybe by using a Heavenly Peach, maybe a Veteran Hay behind him to support him. But that's what you want to look to try and do, at least for a couple of turns, to get a bit more damage with him. 4 cost is pretty hefty though. And 1 range, obviously you want more range with a card like this, but it's a decent card. I think it's nothing that strikes me as like amazing, but I think it's definitely a good rotation in the deck.
You know what though, this is one of the beefier statted cards. Like, there aren't many cards that go up to 3-4. This is one of the few that does.
Mm-hmm. That's true as well.
Can I ask a ruling question? Because I've just thought about this. If this card gets retreated or intimidated, the strength disappears, right? That it gains from its effect.
Yes.
And how long is the strength increase for? Is it permanent? Or is it for the turn?
Until it leaves the field.
Okay. I think this card's okay. It's the 4 cost is good. We love even costs. I'll keep saying this over and over. You have a nice stat line. I think the flavor text is funny as hell. Just going ha 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 ha. Imagine you just beat your opponent in the face and you just read his flavor text.
Ha 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 ha, as he's about to die.
Yeah, as you're trampling over a Wenho. You just go wah ha 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 and just kill it. Right. I think it's a bit too. Its effect's not good because it's a bit too reliant on surviving. In a world where we're dealing more than 4 damage almost on every single attack, it's just not good enough. Defense wise, in that option, the attack's good, but the stat line is on its own good. the effect's not good enough. Just because it has to survive, like it's most likely not surviving. Even if you like swing it in yourself, unless you're swinging direct, there are a lot of things your opponent can do just to clear it off, and the one range will also hurt it. So I don't think it's an amazing card. I don't think it's a great card. I think it's more on the bad side, though.
Is anyone going to be responding to that?
I feel like maybe if you had quite a hefty unit reinforcing, this might work out a little bit, because then maybe some of the splash damage rolls back onto the Berserker, and then maybe that way you can gradually increase his strength. Obviously, you got Heavenly Peach, like I said. You've got Veteran here. What other mechanics can help this card? I'm trying to think if any of you guys can help me out, but those are the two main ones. If you can keep him in
shields.
Yeah, simple shield. Sword. Yeah, of course. If you can keep him on long enough, he can definitely do some damage. But like Nick said, it's just about that. About keeping him on the field in general. It might be a little bit difficult to do, especially if you don't have many units on the board.
Does this effect happen, for example, if you've got a Lung Feng doing his...
That would affect him.
Okay, because imagine that, he's taking 1 damage from Sea of Arrows or Lung Feng, and he's buffing up an extra 1 every single time that happens. They can't choose to not hit Dragon's Berserker. If they're not focused on him, that could quite easily build up. And then you've got something like Eat Up as well, bring his health back up.
Yeah.
You keep buffing him up more, Simple Shield, Heavenly Peach, any of these sorts of like defensive-y sorts of cards. And you're easily looking at building it up to 6 if it's not their main focus, or if you're managing to keep it away as their main focus, so you've got something else on the field to work with. But also just like opening game, like they've not got many units out. They've got like a couple of like their lower leveled recruits out maybe, and they're just doing a little bit of damage. This is great to build that up to start with. Then as you get more cards on the field, it sort of goes back maybe to reinforce a little bit more, so it's building into that attack and not taking as much damage back then once it's already built up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I disagree though. So I see what you're kind of saying about if they have like their early board, but what you got to realize about Dynasty doesn't really have early game tempo like that, because you always start on your 10 resources and you can always trade in up to 19. I don't think we have a 10 cost card yet, so I think you can trade up to...
Not yet. Wink, wink, wink.
Okay, so we can only go up to 19 cost right now, which means that we can still play at these huge bodies on turn 1 and get that huge like swing of momentum. So having the argument of Dragon's Berserker coming out early really isn't making much of a difference when it comes out. I think the best time to use, to be honest, I think this card is best if you just ignore its effect. I don't think you should be playing into the card's effect. It's a good stat line for a 4 cost. So I think you can just play it down as a good vanilla beat stick, just to beat over things. If you're pouring too many things into this, it's creating a really fragile body for a not really good effect. You're becoming a really good, like, big glass cannon, but you're not getting a good upside out of it, or 1 strength every time. Compared to like if you pour it into like a Wen-Ho, where it's like decreasing off your opponent's cards, or just any other champion that's going to be swinging really heavy from the start, that's going to stack up quicker than your Dragon's Berserker. Your Dragon's Berserker is not really a card you want to pour all your attention in. You just want to kind of slap it down. If it lives, it lives. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's a good stat line.
I want to jump in here. Did Nick just compare this to a champion twice the cost with better stats?
Yes,
He did.
I did. Yes, because why would you pour all your efforts into a 4 cost? Like, we've been...
Okay.
Go on.
Early game, you're playing against other early game cards, right? Most damage that they're going to do... What do you mean no?
No, no. Dynasty is a game. No, Dynasty as a game doesn't have a so-called early game. When we refer to early game in other games, it's when you can't get much resources out. But Dynasty, you always start with the same resources, so you can play anything out.
You can, but the early game, you have 5 empty lanes. You're not filling every single lane. You can always... How I would play Dragon's Berserker is play him early on when your opponent has those more lower costing units that can only do, 2 or 1 damage. You hit into them, then you move the Berserker behind, use it as a really strong support card, right? Then you have a 4 buff support on any other champion that you like, and then you're one-shotting people. That's how I would play him. You're seeing it as too much aggro.
This is why you're 0-1 against me, Hinchy.
I'm 0-1 against everyone.
Maybe you need to change your thinking. Maybe we change that thought process. Because I don't get what you mean by you saying you're playing against early bodies, because them small bodies literally can come out anytime. Big bodies can come out from turn 1. I can play a champion turn 1, and then your Dragon's Berserker isn't hitting into small bodies, it's hitting into big bodies. It's never...
Not to hit the body. Early game, you have that choice to either avoid the body or build
Not really.
the body.
Because your opponent plays it, and then... No, because you play the card, then your opponent just goes, boom,
Hey, listen. The biggest of bodies is Yang Bei, okay? That's all we got.
But worse body as well.
Opponent plays lane 1. Ooh, sorry, what am I doing? Lane 5. Ooh, how are you going to catch up to me?
I'm a player that card in lane 5. Whoa!
What are the odds of you having multiple champions on that first time?
It's not even multiple champions. 2 cards will beat this. It's 4 defense, Hinchy. Come on!
And it does 3 damage. It's one of the stronger attacking cards.
Yeah, that's why I say you only use it as a vanilla. I don't give a flying dog's arse about the effect.
Okay, but if it's a vanilla, right, and you're saying it's a good vanilla, but then if it takes damage and then you get another 1 strength, doesn't that just make it a better vanilla?
Yeah, but you don't use it. You don't play. No, you don't play into its effect. MJ and Siobhan were saying, "Oh, we're going to combo with like Heavenly Peach, etc., etc." You don't play into that effect. You play it down. If it lives, it lives. No, there's no point. There's no point.
It can get that pseudo champion stat line by having a Heavenly Peach or having a supported unit behind it.
But that's sinking so much resources in when you can just resource efficiency should be used on other things. It should be used on filtering through blue moons and your herbalist and your cool ups. It shouldn't be used on supporting this. I
feel like it depends on what situation you're in, though. If you're struggling to get your big hitters, your champs, and you really sort of need a bit of damage, I feel like this could be a good lean back option. And say you did have a Heavenly Peach in your hand, maybe a simple sword or something, they're the only things you have in your hand, you have this as well. I feel like maybe then it would be something good to play. You'd have to be careful, you'd have to know what you're doing, and you'd have to make sure you have units to back it as well.
I'd still rather always go wide than tall with this card. I'd rather always just have multiple bodies spreading across different lanes than this one card stacking up really big. Because I'm pouring too many resources into that when I can cover all my options.
When I played against MJ last week or the week before, actually, I did actually put quite a few Heavenly Peaches on this card, and because MJ could swing into it pretty easily, it did waste those resources and wasted my Heavenly Peach. So you are right in that sense. It's happened to me before, but I'm thinking in some circumstances it might actually be okay.
But when talking about that, you using that, it took my focus away from other things as well. I was dancing around Dragon's Berserker with a Heavenly Peach because I didn't have those bigger bodies out. So if your opponent only has those smaller bodies, this card with some support completely affects how your opponent is playing. It's not just about what you're doing with your cards. You've got to remember, what you do with your cards affects what your opponent does with their cards, and this is something that makes them think.
But I also
want them building up too high with a Dragon's Berserker that ends up somehow on like Hen attack.
Yeah, but I also feel like if you just don't play into the Berserker at all, it doesn't do much. Because if you play a Berserker and your opponent's like, cool, I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to play in the complete other lanes. That's never getting past 3 strengths. It's just a small free poke every turn when you're just piling up into other columns and dealing with their threats.
But a small free poke every turn isn't a small.
It is small. It's small.
Not
No,
every
it
turn.
is. I'm done. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm done.
I saw a teardrop fall from Nick's eye just then.
What he's drinking is his own tears.
Yeah. Off camera, this wall's getting broken.
Yeah. Okay, on that note, let's do our Dynasty ratings. How many Dynasty booms are we giving this card? Starting with Siobhan. Do you know what? Then MJ, and then finally Nick. I'm
Good.
suffer through this.
Good.
Booms out of 5 or 10? 5, right?
You can do 10 if you want. There's like no official scale.
We'll just keep out of 5 for simplicity's sake, but I think it's just better than average. I'm gonna say about let's say about a 3.3 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's decent. I think if you can play with it and incorporate it in your deck and have some synergies with it and make sure you collaborate it with other units, I feel like it could be a good card. But like I said, like my mistakes with MJ, in a sense, you can really sort of waste resources on this card thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to get more strength each turn, and then all of a sudden your unit's just destroyed and you've wasted 4 resources or whatever on a Heavenly Peach. So you really got to be careful with it. So that's why I'm giving it a 3.3 out of 5.
I will go boom, 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 and then bow for 3.5 because it's a card. I have one in my deck, but it's not particularly my personal play style.
Nick?
I'm gonna give this a 2.5. I think it's an alright card. It's literally just average. It's like, that's why it's free. It's like directly in the middle, sorry. It's a 2.5. I think the redeeming factors of this card are its base stat line and its cost. And its flavor text. I love it. But it's bad. The bad factors about this card are the effect's quite hard. The range is bad. And yeah, that's it.
All right, and I think I'm not going to give a rating because I don't want to give a rating. Okay, on to the next card.
Wow, cheapskate.
I'm the host. Okay, fine. I will give it a 5 out of 5. Boom, 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 boom.
Wait,
okay.
Shout out to Brandon T as well.
Yes, Brandon.
Card.
Next card.
Right.
Blue Moon Cavalry, 4 cost, 3 range, 2 strength, 3 health. With the effect, if this unit defeats an enemy unit, draw 1 card.
Crazy, fucking crazy how we all haven't just jumped out our seats for this. Searchable 4 cost with 3 range. Searchable. This card is searchable. We have Blue Moon Recruiter. This is searchable, guys. Remember, we can tutor this out our deck on the first turn. Imagine you draw Blue Moon Recruiter. That's a Blue Moon Cavalry. If you're talking about puny bodies, boom, just play a Blue Moon Cavalry. You draw a card of defeating something. Drawing a card in this game is huge. Any card advantage is huge. Where there's not much draw outside your natural once per turn draw. We don't have many cards that can do that. And a card like this, where you can pin something down on a free range, it's nuts. They're hiding like a little veteran hay. Sneaky veteran hay. You just pop their Blue Moon Cavalry, and you're swinging. You're doing a sneaky swing. I think this card is insane, honestly.
Nick, you're forgetting, right? When I'm getting that Blue Moon Recruiter, the first thing I'm searching for is a Blue Moon Archer. I am not searching for this guy, I'll be honest. And you can only get 3 Blue Moon recruiters in a deck, meaning I can only search for 3 Blue Moon archers as well. So unless I'm drawing this guy, I'm not really looking for him, if I'm being honest. But I do agree in the fact that his effect of drawing a card in a game at the moment where there's not too many mechanics where you can draw other cards outside your normal turn is pretty sick. But I think the stat line is a bit cheeks, if I'm being real. And the cost is a bit heavy, but you do get that range, to be fair, so that's pretty good. In collaboration with other units, this might do well, but it's also going to get destroyed easily unless you reinforce it. So, yeah, it really depends on if you can protect this guy or not. But even so, drawing 1 extra card is cool. I will agree with that.
I mean, there is an entire card that you seem to both be forgetting, which is Call Up, which lets you call out another 4 or lower cost card. So it's not just 3 searches of Blue Moon Recruiter. It can be up to 6 if you have 3 call-ups as well. And so that works for any 4 cost or low. So really, being a 4 cost or low, that's every single card pretty much at the moment that's unit in the game. Any card can be searched up if you have the right circumstances for it.
But this is more consistent search. As you said, there's 6 chances. So the more consistent searching is great. I just think the value of drawing, even if it's like a cheap body, because you're going to get one thing out of it. Even if it trades, by the way, this card doesn't have to survive. It will still get the draw. So it can trade off and draw. So you minimum probably go +1. You can go plus. Like, you either... The worst case scenario of this card, you go even because you play this 1 card down and then you swing it off and then it dies. You draw a card off defeating something if you've planned it out right. Best case, you're going +1, +2. If you like plan this well with like retreats and everything to like phase it in and out of the battle and just pinpoint these weak little bodies, this card is going to be like an insane draw engine. That's why I think if you can set it up early and not even like poke at bodies early game, but just establish the presence of, okay, I'm going to have this everlasting draw engine. What are you saying? How are you outing me in card resources?
True. Yeah, I feel like definitely the person who plays this probably will draw an extra card. That being said, there are a few other cards that can get you an extra draw as well. Gift to the Emperor is one, but that obviously gives your opponent an extra draw 2 on their next go. I feel as if... Not too sure. I feel like you will only really draw 1 card ever from this, unless you can really, really protect it. But that draw advantage, like you said, can really be important in a game where, at the moment, you're not being able to draw too many cards. The range can pick off a few different units as well, which is good. Especially those, if you have any squashies at the back, as Nick calls them, then you can pick them off. So it's always a good thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, the card itself, having reread how I actually wrote this, if this unit defeats an enemy unit, draw 1 card, and that means you can unite with this card. So it doesn't have to defeat by himself. He can be in a united attack. Obviously, he has to lead the attack, but it means that you can get over kind of things that you need to get over and get that extra, which is pretty good. But I just worry that like people go too aggressive with him. Like, you can only utilize his value in very specific situations. Like, he's either sniping or you have enough resources to defeat a unit.
I feel like even MJ as well, he said you can use Call Up as well. Thing is with Call Up, right? You're using 8 resources to then get this guy out. Is that really the guy you want to get out with those 8 resources? Is what my sort of question is. Because even if I had a Call Up, if I didn't have my recruiter already, I'll be looking to get him so I could then get my Blue Moon Archer. maybe a fortune teller as well. A fortune teller can really push back an opponent's plan. So I'd maybe be looking to get those 2 cards before I even look to get this guy. So yeah, that's just me though.
Can I also just say, I don't think you'd bother getting the recruiter with a call-up if you're just going to go straight for Blue Moon Archer anyway.
No, you do, because it's an extra body. You want the extra body.
Yeah.
And
That's what I do.
Can I just say, this is where my point of even costs come in, because now, because so many cards are even costs, that I say you should be running mainly evens, because now you can trade an even cost card and you go 4/4/4, because you go cool up into your recruiter into cavalry. That's 12. So staying on that even cycle is great.
Yeah, but obviously you would have had traded in something as well, right?
Yeah. So if you trade in a 4 cost, you still have 2 resources. You trade in a 6 cost, you have 4, so you can play. Is there even a 6 cost card in the game? I don't know if there's a 6 specific.
There's no 6 cost yet.
No. But if you stay along the even track, like, don't forget we can play. I forgot what it's called. The 0 cost order.
And
that gives you,
prosperity.
yeah, that. So if you do that and then a 2 cost, that's 4. That and a 4, that's 6, etc., etc. Staying on the even curve is just always better.
Right, so everyone's going to get to start their game with 11 resources now.
I quit.
I think it's good, but as a supplementary support card, to obviously the main champions, it's a risky cost. I would play the Berserker over Blue Moon Cavalry. I would
space right now.
I would
Hey,
do
no. Fraud watch. Fraud.
because you just get so much more survivability off Berserker compared to the Blue Moon Cavalry. Your survivability on this is with 2 hits. If it was a 4 cost, then that's different. 4 health. If it was 4 health, then it'll be way stronger. But 3 cost, it's very puny because it forces you to have to crash into people, right? Whereas if you're defending with Berserker as a reinforcing unit, you're still gaining that buff. This forces you to have to attack to gain its ability.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree with Hinchy somewhat. I feel like unless you're really protecting this guy and unless you know what you're doing, then he can just easily be killed. But that being said, if you've got some small units on the board, it's maybe the start of the game, you can get that extra draw pretty easily. So it depends on the scenario, really, in my opinion.
What's going on?
I think that one, can we stop saying at the early game we're gonna have small bodies? Because that's not how the game works. It really annoys me. That's not how this game works.
No, babe, you might. I'm not saying you always will, but you might have small bodies.
But I might also have a big body. It doesn't matter what part of the game it is, because I can play whatever I want, whenever I want.
Interjection here. Okay, this is a completely off-topic thing. We're talking about early game now. Early game, if you play a big body and it dies, you're screwed. You are screwed for the rest of the game.
No, you're not. No. Because your opponents had to commit all that resource into that one lane. So you just go, oh, by the way, you've committed that into lane 2. Lane 5, bye-bye.
But it forces you to once it's dead, you're not getting it back. There are no cards that can bring back any of your big bodies. If you play 4 bodies to get rid of a big body and then draw into a big body to play, then you have to then commit. So you're constantly going back and forth and seeing the tempo. But if you're good with the small bodies, you're always going to win.
Pause. I'm good with anybody, Hinchy.
Okay, back to the card.
That's what I was on about cards. What do you mean?
Nick's drinking his tears again.
Stay hydrated, kids.
Of course. Not finished though now.
Oh, well, okay, fine.
Always finishing.
What are we thinking about this card then? Let's begin with Nick.
No, I'm not beginning. I'm not. No.
Okay, fine. Shaban, MJ, and Nick. We're going to keep that cycle.
Okay, so do you want me to give my boom scale rating?
Let's hit the booms.
Okay. I'm gonna go boom, 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 and then little boom. So I'm gonna go like 3.1 out of 5. I feel like this is slightly worse than Dragon's Berserker. Simply because he's not as chunky. I do feel he's gonna get taken care of pretty easily. As soon as your opponent sees this on the battlefield, they're gonna try their best to get rid of it. But that being said, it still is a very decent card because that draw capability is amazing, especially when you can't really draw many cards. There's not many cards that allow you to draw other cards. So this is one of them, and that can really help. Especially if you're low on cards and you just need something that's big hitting, you can rely on the luck of the draw. So that's why I'm giving it 3.1.
I'm going to go boom, 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 3 booms. Out of the 4 cost cards, it's probably, I think I have one in my deck. It is a card that would likely be replaced if I found a card I liked. Well, I guess that's the case of any card, but this is one of the cards I'm more willing to replace if I found a different card that I wanted to play instead.
Nick looks crazy right now. Are you okay?
Nick's about to kill us all, bro.
I'm crashing out. Live crash out. 4 booms. I'd even say like a 4.2. Card's really, really good. You're all undermining this so hard.
Had to justify.
No, if I justify, I'm sorry. We're here till like 11 o'clock. Like,
Okay, fine.
I'm saving you.
No, wait. Give like a small justification, like 2-3 points.
Card draw is amazing. Free range, 4 costs. And our goal is simple, as it says in the flavor text. We're drawing cards.
True. You know what? This guy's goal is simple.
It is super
And
simple.
Nick's the guy who's going to get it done, apparently. So, yeah.
Nick's being way too big. So he needs to get humbled by someone.
Hey, anyone play me anytime.
Alright, next card is the Blue Moon Vanguard. Another Blue Moon card. 4 cost, 1 range, 2 strength, 4 health. With the ability, when this card leads a Blue Moon unit in a united attack, plus 1 strength to this unit. And since everyone's talking about flavor text, fear not, warriors.
I am fearing when playing this card because this card is not good. First I want to say this card art is really cool. I really like the artwork.
It is very good.
It's a shame it got wasted in this effect, but
Okay,
it's not a bad effect.
That just hurts my feelings as a creator, but it doesn't matter.
No, to be fair, it's not the worst effect because it creates a situation where theoretically I play my Blue Moon Recruiter and I grab this. That's an instant 2-card combo that will initiate his effect because you play the Recruiter, then you play the Vanguard straight in front. So then you're guaranteed that effect because the Blue Moon Recruiter is a Blue Moon. I think this stat line is just really bad because you're having to fulfill a condition for a stat line of a Dragon's Berserker. Where Dragon's Berserker is a 4 cost, where it's already got that stat line and has potential to be bigger. Whereas Blue Moon Vanguard, it can get bigger, but it's like really conditional. Either this card can die or the unit behind it can die, and then it starts losing consistency. The fact that this is a 2-card combo minimum to like keep building it up just really hurts it for a weak stat line. The fact that Dragon's Berserker is a free 4 for a 4 cost and can get bigger is just so much better.
I've got.
Oh,
sorry, is it okay if I just say this first? I've just got a couple rule questions. So, Of course, like when it's leading a blue moon unit, does that mean just the one directly behind it, or could it mean two blue units behind it? Two blue moon units behind it, sorry.
So if it's leading a blue moon unit, it means that the one directly behind is being led.
Okay, the one directly behind. And I was going to say that's only if that condition's met. Not outside of that condition does this card get any strength at all.
It does not gain any strength.
No, but does the strength stay?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Because this is when it leads, it just gets one strength, like the Berserker, so it implies it stays. After the...
If what it implies is what you think, then it is what it is.
Okay.
No, but I read it as it gets the +1 strength when it's leading the card, not the rest.
No, this and then tell you.
No, okay. Let me tell you the exact, like, as a TCG judge. Okay. So it says when this card leads a blue moon. So this is when the leading is declared. So I'm declaring I'm doing Unite Attack, right? I'm declaring my Blue Moon Vanguard is leading a Blue Moon Recruiter. Then the effect will trigger. All it says is +1 strength to this unit. It doesn't say to the end of the battle. It doesn't say to the end of the turn. So that implies, like the Dragon's Berserker, that is going to stay for the full until it gets removed.
Yeah, I would have thought that as well. And I feel like it makes more sense in terms of balancing it with the Dragon's cards as well. So it's a bit more balanced compared to the Dragon's Berserker as well. That would make more sense to me anyway. MJ?
I'm just comparing the text to Dragon's Berserker.
Oh, okay.
So the difference of this card is this says when this card leads. So that's a conditional... Yeah.
But that's the condition
during the condition. Yeah. On Dragon's Berserker, it says after damage calculation, if it says the word increase this unit's strength by 1, not not +1. It says it has a keyword increase on it.
But the cost is still a condition, right? So we're breaking the cost and the reward as two separate things, right? So your cost is always, when this card leads the blue moon, it's not saying for the battle that this unit leads a blue moon. If it said for the battle, it would mean that it's only for the battle, I think. Unless Tenji's got some really weird ruling and he's going to make me cry in the corner right now.
Okay, so obviously because we're still in the alpha state, a lot of the terminology is not cohesive enough yet. So
I'm gonna crash out.
I get lazy and put pluses when I should be saying increase, and increase when I should just put a plus. But this card is meant to lead and then gain the buff, right?
Okay. Like we said.
Yeah, and then once it's led, then it gains the buff.
Yeah, but does it keep the buff after the battle? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
And then that's why you can play this against a Dragon's Mercenary.
No,
not Dragon's Mercenary. Berserker, yeah.
I still think Berserker's better, though. That's just my opinion.
I'm going to say this. If you have a recruiter and recruit this guy, you've instantly got a 3 + 2. You've already got 5 damage on the field off one card. Berserker, you've only got 3.
Okay, I feel like... But you go, Shabbat.
Sorry, yeah, I feel like, for me, Berserker is definitely better, and I'll say why. It's because the Berserker, all that has to do is take damage, whereas this has to lead, and therefore, if it's leading, it's more likely to get hit back. And because of that, that means that this unit is likely to be out of the game earlier than Dragon's Berserker as well.
I also think that to do your recruiter into your Vanguard, that's 8 resources, but just to play your Berserker is 4, when you can then play other things to then bring up that attack cost, and then it will fill in for that. Also, you can do things quite easily to get rid of your Blue Moon Vanguard's buff. Even if you don't kill the Vanguard, you're like, okay, cool, this is too strong for me to kill. I'm going to play something with a few range and kill the Blue Moon behind it. and then your opponent has to find another blue moon somehow to then keep getting that effect. But then they're pouring in to, again, not really a strong effect, because it'll go 3-4. Like, it's just your opponent's always playing on a back seat to get like not really that good of an effect off the Vanguard.
And also remember its range as well. It's still low range as well. It's not like you're getting an increase on range to the Berserker. So yeah, that's, in my opinion, it's just a little bit worse than the Berserker.
I was like, out of all the Blue Moon cards, this card only really works cohesively with the Recruiter being the card behind it. Because Recruiter, once it's on the field, it doesn't have an effect really. So it could be played behind this card. You can use them for a united attack, and it works well. If you put an Archer behind it, then you don't get benefit of Archer's ability if you're trying to use this ability instead. And because that one, it has to have its own attack to be able to attack the lane to the right, whereas this one would have to attack in front of it. That's 2 attacks in one lane. Can't happen. And same with Cavalry. That one has to be the leading card, I believe, to be able to get its effect. In which case, you can't have both Vanguard and Cavalry both leading the attack. So you would have to pick which card's effect you prefer. Unless, of course, you're playing with the idea that you have Vanguard in front of one of these other units, and you play with Vanguard for a couple of turns until it goes to stall out and then start using the other card's effect.
That is smart. I like that idea. I think people that play a pure Blue Moon deck will really get the benefit out of him. But if you're not playing a pure Blue Moon, I'm seeing Nick's face there.
How can you play a pure Blue Moon deck when there's only like 5 cards?
Yeah, but 5 cards, you max them all out. That's already 15 units.
15 out of 50.
Yeah, but you can, when I mean pure, your core synergies that you have is your Blue Moon units, right? Instead of if someone were to chuck 2 copies of this into a random deck, right, you've got the Blue Moon support with it.
Yeah, but they're just actively nerfing themselves, so by playing Blue Moon. They're just actively playing a bad deck for a bad effect.
I mean, I disagree. I'd say Blue Moon's cards, most of them are actually very solid, especially the fact that you have the Recruiter, you can deck search. With the Dragons, for example, you can't do that, so it's not as good in terms of that. I did also want to say, though, with this card, the fact that you can get the instant buff as long as you have a Blue Moon behind this card, that's amazing. You can't get the instant buff with Berserker, but you can with this. That being said, it does only go up to 3-4, which is the same as the base Berserker. So yeah.
No, because if it keeps on every time you lead, it keeps on adding 1.
Yeah, but just initially, I'm saying that it would go.
Yeah, initially it will go. But if you were able to figure out a way to keep him attacking open lanes, you could get him really high attack, really, really early.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on.
Oh my god! You don't have to attack another unit.
No, it's when this leads in a united attack. It's not when this destroys a unit or anything unit. You can do direct attacks and get this buff.
True.
Okay, that's just put my
to be fair,
I realised that properly.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that either. Yeah, that makes that's definitely something that makes it a lot better, especially if you know that your opponent doesn't have units and you drag this unit to one side where your opponent may find it difficult to then come back to the Vanguard and attack him. You're actually gaining a lot of strength with that. So this could be something very, very useful in that sense.
Okay, Nick, what have you got to say?
No, I'm saving it for the booms.
Okay, fine. Well, let's move on to the booms then. Shaban?
With that last thing that you said, the fact that you could just attack an open lane as long as this is leading another Blue Moon unit, I think that's really added to it a bit more. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna put this on par with Dragon's Berserker-ish. Yeah, let's go for it. So 3.3 out of 5. I do think that there is some room for improvement, and I do wish that the strength was a little bit higher than it currently is. But that being said, if you have the battlefield sort of control and they don't have many units that they're playing, if you can really sort of attack in open lanes and keep doing so, this card could get buffed a lot and it could do some decent damage. So I think it's good. Very good.
MJ?
Boom, 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 boom. But it's not following up with, and I want this in my deck. I don't play many Blue Moon cards, so that's the only reason, but it is still 4 booms for me. I'm not much of a Blue Moon player outside of like Blue Moon Archer.
Alright, Nick. On to you.
Hingy, I've got a question for you.
I don't like where this is going, guys. Go on.
How many times have I beat you in Dynasty TCG?
You've beat me once.
That's how many stars it's getting. This is ass!
Wow.
Please! You all need to see the light. Open your eyes. Open the curtains.
Bro, what do you mean? I'm just seeing darkness outside right now, bro. It's like
True. Turn your lights on. Like, fly to a different time zone.
What do you mean one? Come on.
Well, I mean, it's not any good. This the bad stat line, bad range, bad effects. You have to play this in a package deal. The only good thing,
you know, get your jet holiday for £50.
Oh, no, £50. That's £200 off a family of 4. I want £200 off if I'm buying this fucking card. Like, oh. No, I'm never playing this card. The only good thing about this card is the artwork and the cost.
Nick, but what if, like we said, you played this on an empty lane and you were leading a Blue Moon unit, then you could just keep buffing that strength?
I mean, but you have to. The whole point is you have to draw that Blue Moon unit. Like,
I mean, it's a if, yeah. Look, that being said,
hold on, no. Because if you're gonna say this to any card, that any card is one card. You have to draw 2. Draw 2. You have to hit 2 out of your.
But that being said, I actually use a fair amount of Blue Moons. Okay, so I definitely have 3 recruiters. I definitely have 3 archers, and I'd probably have this guy. Maybe a cavalry as well. I'll have to see when the new decks come out. Obviously, Hinchy has them in hand now, but I'll have to go through it properly and see what sort of synergizes. But I do think Blue Moon is still completely valid, and if you can have a decent amount of Blue Moon units, this card is of value. So that's why I still think it's a decent card. It's not absolutely trash. Maybe if there was a bit less Blue Moon support, this would be trash. But to me, it's a solid card.
Nah, I think if you're playing Blue Moon, you just don't play this card. You just play Blue Moon, then play all your staples, then play Longfang, and it's a tier 1 deck. There you go.
We've got a certified Blue Moon hater.
No, I'm not a Blue Moon hater. I'm a Blue Moon Vanguard effect hater. I like the artwork. I like the cost. That's about it. Shout out Jackie.
If someone's watching this video and like watches these podcasts, note down all the cards that Nick hates, make a deck out of it, then beat him with it. If you do that, I will give you 5 booster packs.
Hinchy, that should just be if they can beat me in general. No one's beating me, brother.
We'll see about that. All right. Well, that leads us on to our final card, which is Dragon's Infantry. 4 cost, 1 range, 1 strength, 4 health, with the ability, if this unit is defeated in battle, +1 strength to other dragons units you control. With the flavor text of burn, and burn.
Your Honor, this card's shit. It's 1 range, 1 attack. You have to have dragons on your field, and it's only giving 1 strength to them. Like, sure, you can have like 10 dragons. It's giving 1 strength to each, but like, you have to draw the dragons, and dragons aren't that strong, so it's just shit.
Didn't you think the Berserker was good?
No, Berserker's like mid. Hold on, I said it's a 2.5. Whoa.
So wait, Hingy, just a quick clear up. So if this is defeated, all the other dragons units you control get a +1.
Yeah.
Does that include one or not?
No. Well, actually, well, yes, it does. Yes, it does. The answer is yes. Yes, it does.
Okay. That, you know what? That's considering. I'm trying to think now. That is terrible strength, but the effect is actually solid because this guy's getting defeated like quite fast. If I'm being real. So. Yeah, I guess.
I disagree it's starting fast because it's the 4 defense. So if we put the argument, because we were all saying like, oh, Dragon's Berserker, we're going to protect that also. Like, it's not necessarily going to die fast, but it's just not good.
I mean, it depends. To be fair, if your opponent sees this effect and is like, oh, then this guy's going to get +1, then it might be a bit different, and they might not even pay attention to him because it's not like he's going to do much damage anyway, to be fair. But yeah, we might have to just burn this card, to be honest. Well, Nick will anyway.
My guy.
Can I just check, what reason are we saying Wen would get the effect with this?
Because she's a dragon.
Is it not be based off name of text? Is it based off just character itself then rather than name of text?
This would be when I actually release stuff that's coming out next year. Basically, all the characters are going to have like archetype tags. So she would have the Scarlet Dragons tag. So then this would affect all of those cards, and because she's obviously part of the army, she would get that buff. But for people that are playing and watching right now, that doesn't work right now. But next year, that'll be very relevant.
I mean, it had not occurred to me at all that this meant +1 strength to all the dragons.
It's every so if you had a full board of 15 dragons, right? This dies, everyone's getting +1. If, like, for me, the way I see it, you're using this as a defense fodder and waiting until you can build up your dragon, like, alliance. And then you use this to die. And then if you have a playset, everyone's getting +3. Right? And I think that's quite powerful. It's just, how do you play with this in what situation? You always want to play it with a dragon. And then all the other dragons can increase their own strength as well. So let's say you got Dragon's Mercenary, and you had the Berserker, and you had Assassin as well. All of them getting +3. Your Assassin is going to be doing what? How much? I think for 5 direct damage, right?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing 5 direct damage off the Assassin, and then the Mercenary, you could go way higher than what Rayan normally does, right? Because you're getting that +3, a passive +3, and then you're paying extra to deal even more damage. Like, the dragons can become very, very powerful if people utilize this card and play within tempo.
Yeah, to be fair, I feel like if you have a few extra cards that can sort of buff this guy's strength, so maybe a simple sword or veteran hail or something, then obviously your opponent would worry about this card's strength a little bit more, and that might make your opponent defeat this card, and therefore sort of increase the attack power of your dragons units. But that being said, obviously you need quite a few dragons units on the board for this to be a useful thing. But like you said, it can be good defense fodder as well because it is 4 defense, which is solid. But I feel like it is quite a situational card compared to the other cards. Nick, were you going to say something? I think, yeah.
Nah. I'm waiting for the booms.
You're waiting for the booms.
Emily,
Okay.
what do you think of this card?
I'm going to be completely honest. Since reading the text on it, all I've had is, the song by the Tramps, Disco Inferno?
Yeah.
All I've got in my head is, burn, 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 dragons infantry. That has been on loop in my head this entire thing.
This is the difference between a casual and a competitive player.
But someone playing dragons, this card, yeah, like you're saying, has to have. You're playing 3 of them. You're getting that buff to all of them. It's putting you sort of like it's. I would say this is like the spiritual opposite of a Yang Bei deck, because that's all about your defense and building your defense up, getting everything in defense. Whereas dragons is all about your attack, building your attack up, getting your attack higher, and they're sort of like their spiritual opposites, I think, in a way. And it's nice that you can sort of see that between the different decks as well. And it will be nice to see how different people play them against each other.
Mm-hmm. I feel like no one really wants to talk about the Dragon's Inventory. Not getting enough love for this wonderful card that Brandon did.
Nah, like to be fair, the art's cool. The art is very cool.
That's the only good thing about this card.
There's a lot of burning going on, so we like that. But I'm sure those villagers probably don't like that in the background or whatever's going on there. But anyway, yeah, so it's just a very situational card. I think it's decent considering you can buff a lot of dragons units, and especially when more released, this will be cool. But for now, I feel like it's just decent, maybe it's slightly below average.
All right, well, since everyone's so bored of this card, let's go on to the booms, because I want to see what Nick is going to say. So, Shaban, lead us in.
I'm going to go boom, boom, and then small boom. So I'm going to go to about 2.3 out of 5. I feel like I said, this card is very situational. You need to have a lot of dragons units on the board for this to be useful. Otherwise, it's getting taken care of easily. You need to maybe add some attack to this, so it needs maybe a simple sword or a veteran hay behind it. It's heavy cost as well, 4 cost. I just feel like there's definitely way better 4 cost, even 3 cost units like Fortune Teller than this. So for me, that's why I said 2.3 out of 5.
Okay, MJ.
I'm going to go boom, 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 boom. If you play dragons, get this in your deck. 4 booms. Now that I've realised, it buffed all of the dragons up. If you're playing dragons, this is a card that you want to have. Like, all 3 copies of, every time.
And I think this is when Nick is about to get ballistic.
I love Nick's crash outs.
Right. Hold on. We're gonna take a deep breath and we're gonna play this very calmly. This is a 0.5 Hinchy. The reason I believe this is a 0.5 is because it only has 1 attack. This means that the card is very shit on attacking. If I theoretically was to buff this up with some simple swords, I am making a kamikaze pilot. I am forcing this kamikaze pilot to go in, and then I am crying because he's not doing that much. I have to commit such a full board for this pilot, right? This card is shit. I respect Brandon for some nice art, but that's it.
I can't lie, this card looks like that face. Like, he shouldn't be doing that face if he's only doing 1 damage. Like, what is going on?
Yeah,
he looks way too ominous.
Is he doing 1 damage, or is he getting defeated and letting the rest of the units cause like an extra 5?
He's
10
pulling
damage?
that face because he knows how shit he is, and he's trying to make you think he's good.
Well, the reason why he's doing that face is because he's burning the village.
Nah, that's boring.
Is he just breaking the 4th wall? He knows he's a terrible card. I love that. But look, he's weak. He's a measly guy. His sword isn't even straight. So, what can you do with that? Well,
don't judge people in the way their swords swing, Hinchy.
Huh?
Well. I'm just going to let everyone sit with that comment for a second.
Yeah.
Inspirational quote of the day.
Nick loves talking about swords, everyone.
Is there something wrong with that?
No, of course not.
Well,
Anyway,
let's hope those swords are swinging into blue moons. That's what we want.
Whoa! Blue moons. That's a completely different thing. And on that note, I want to thank everyone who is watching this podcast that we're doing, Cardcast. Come back next week. Probably will have a video, unless I'm really, really busy and I won't make one, but we most likely will. I have been your host, Hinchy Chung, and now I'm going to let everyone else do... Oh, wait, no. Thank you to Patreon subscribers, and like everyone else, MJ is a Patreon subscriber. As he can vouch, you get awesome like information, and I'm going to let everyone else now do their outro.
Right, so it's been a pleasure being on this podcast again. I love Nick's crash outs. I live for it. And I'm so excited to be back, hopefully soon, hopefully next week. So yeah, we'll catch you guys then. I'm Shaban, also known as Cons, and I'm out. So I'll catch you lot soon.
It's nice to see you all again. It's nice to give you some amateur opinions, since I'm not a competitive player according to some people. But yeah, have a good week. I will see you all soon. It's MJ.
So you'll know my opinions, alright? If you want to argue with me, join the Discord. Link probably is in bio. I am Vortex. Come scrap me. Run these fucking hands. Come scrap me.
Remember, guys, 5 packs if you beat Vortex with any of the cards he hates, with all of them, sorry. So remember that.
Good luck with that. I'll throw an X. You don't make it 10, I'll throw in 5, NG.
Okay. That's it. Bye.